Can it be saved? Hello and thank you for stopping by. Once again, I'm working on this Harbor Freight 3-gallon Central Pneumatic air compressor. As you can see by the gauges, it's not building up any pressure and it's noisier than usual. So let's get this up on the table and see what the racket's all about. This right here is the repair I made in the last video. It's linked up above. This came with a aluminum tubing that cracked, and this tubing here I pulled out of an old refrigerator, piece of scrap tubing that I replaced it with. That was about 2-3 years back, but that's not the issue now. It's not building up pressure. If you have one of these, this is a noisy compressor right out of the gate. That's one of the biggest complaints about it. But listen to this now, listen. The noise that it was making sounds like it's coming from back here. Here's where the piston is. I see a crack over here, so it looks like something happened on the inside of this. I'm going to take this head off, and to take this head off we'll have to remove this tubing and these 4 screws. We'll take a look to see what's in here, and if I have to, we'll pull this whole motor out. But for now I'm just going to pull this head off to see what it looks like. These may have had some Loctite on them. 2 of these were very hard to get out. This one was on the loose side. So now I have these screws loose. Let's take a peek and see what we have inside. Got this disconnected. Put this camera down. See what we have. You can see it's pretty dirty in here. This compressor doesn't have a filter on the air intake, at least none that I know of. The reed valve up there looks okay. I was just hoping it was a broken reed valve in here. It doesn't look like that's the case. Oh, it's down in here. See this piston? This piston is loose off the crankcase. That's what was making that noise. It's going to take a little bit more than what I really wanted to get into. I'm going to have to get these 4 screws out over here to take this plate off to see what's going on with this piston. I don't know if something broke in there or if something just popped out. But that's what was making all the noise, and that's what cracked this. That crack looks like it's all the way through, so that'll be an air leak over there. But this looks okay. To get this out, let's see what we have to do. I'm gonna have to disconnect some wires here. Let's see how these put on. We have this relay. We have the ground wire. Let's see, does this go in any particular way? No, right? We have these 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. This has to come out for the ground. All these wires in here. This all connected here. Okay, you know, I'm just going to start removing these screws, and we'll go piece by piece from there. After I have this out, I'll show you what had to be removed. I didn't remove any of these wires. What I did have to do is to loosen this nut here to move this pipe, and all I had to do was tip this back. When you're removing these screws from the side, they have a lot of Loctite on, and they were pretty stiff to get out. You need a large Phillips head screwdriver to get them out. Once I had that out, I just cocked this up. The 4 screws that were back here came out real easy, and this is the problem. It looks like this is done. We have the piston. We have, it looks like this was a bearing. I don't know if you could just buy the bearing for this. I'm not sure which way this would go in. It's fitting this way. And then you have these ball bearings in here. Let's get this magnet. There's this metal that's all bent up in here. This looks like it might have been a race to hold these ball bearings in. There's a lot of metal in here. Yeah, there's quite a bit. Let's use this magnet to get it out. This was my go-to compressor, and I want to say 7 years. I know I did a video when I first got it. I may have been using it longer than 7 years, I don't know, but I know I had this for at least 7 years. I believe we purchased this for either $39 or $49, so I can't complain. Like I said, the biggest complaint on here was that it was noisy as anything, and it took forever to fill up. I do a lot of work in the field, and there's always a lawnmower, a lawn tractor that has a flat or a snow blower or something, and this was very handy. It was a lot easier than rolling out a big compressor and extension cords. There were times I just filled this up and there was enough air in it to do what I had to do, and other times I just rolled out long extension cords, but it's very easy to move around. I'm going to check with Harbor Freight to see if they sell the internals on this. I don't have a positive feeling on this, because many times when I contacted Harbor Freight customer service, that's an oxymoron with them. They sell a lot of tools that they don't sell parts for. And the fact that they no longer sell this unit, I would say that they probably don't have the parts for this, unless this motor is used in other compressors. The motor's working, it's the piston that isn't any good. So if you're a DIYer and you're a little bit of an inventor, you might want to hold on to this motor for your next invention. With that said, if you have one of these and this is your situation, if you have room in your shed or your garage, you might want to throw this into a corner and just leave it there, because most people don't repair these units. They just toss them. And this was the last repair that I had to make, and from the comments that I received in that video, it looks like this was a typical problem that people were having. And like I said, most people don't bother fixing it. You know, this pipe broke on it and they just tossed it out. You might find one when you go to the dump, you might find one on the side of the road, you might find one on Facebook, who knows. You might just have to change this pipe. You could take the pipe from the one that you have, or there might be something else wrong with it, and you could take the whole motor out and put it in. It's not too much of a process to remove and install this motor into this unit. And if I don't find a replacement for this motor, I don't have time right now, but I picked up a couple of refrigerators that I was told were in working order. Well, the compressors work on it, but when I got them home, both of them, believe it or not, had gas leaks. And not being a licensed tech, I can't buy the gas for those units. So one of them I actually made a raised bed out of, and the other one I may take the motor out of that one and install it on this tank. The compressors on the refrigerator are a lot quieter than this compressor right here. And I've seen a few videos where people took those compressors, they used LP tanks and various different things. But here I have a tank and I have the controls that I need for the compressor to work. So that's it for this video. A little disappointing for me. I thought for sure it was going to be a reed valve, because these reed valves go on the compressors, and if you don't have this dilemma and you do have a broken reed valve, they do sell these on Amazon, and you can check with Harbor Freight. They might actually sell them there. There's two. There's one on the bottom here, and there's one on top. So unfortunately, that's a wrap. If you have any questions or comments, post them down below. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, give it a like. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit that Joe Z button. And not to miss my new videos as I upload them, be sure to ring the bell. Until next time, stay safe.